Welcome friends. In this video we'll be talking about Indian cinema industry and the multiplex industry. Why are we doing this? Because imagine you want to invest in some particular stock for long-term investment and you want to do the fundamental analysis on it. So if you don't know how that sector works, how will you get to know what all investment goes, where all money is spent? So it's always better if you know the sector you are planning to invest in, how it works, and then if you do the fundamental analysis of stocks. So in this video, we'll be talking about Indian cinema industry and multiplex industry. And in my next video, we'll be doing analysis of stocks that are there in this sector. So it's valued at 183.2 billion. Now, if we compare number of movies that is released in India on a global scale, we get to know that India is leading this with 2000 movies that is being released every year, and in USA it's 79 movies, and in China it's 686 movies, and so on. As you can see, India is releasing 2.5 times more than movies which are being released in USA. So there are various languages in India like Tamil, Kannada, Telugu, Hindi, Malayalam, Odisha. So all these different languages movie contribute and helps in growth of this industry. So what we are doing is we are seeing the potential growth of this industry in coming days, if there is any scope for this sector or no. If there is no scope for this sector, then there is no point in investing in any of the stocks that comes under the sector. Next, if we see footfall means the number of people watching movie in a year. So if you see that India is second highest with 19.3 crore, and China is leading with 21.7 crore. So this could be also due to the population number in each of these countries. China is highly populated and India is second highest. So this large customer base in India has added an advantage to this sector. It's always good that if you have a large number of consumers, then there is a lot of potential for any particular sector to grow. That's why many foreign companies are planning to expand in India, China, because of the large potential customer market. Next, if we look at multiplex versus single screen. So what are multiplex? Before that, let's see what are single screens. Single screens are those places which you have seen wherein there will be only one screen and it's a very big hall with capacity of 1000 to 2000, and it will be an individual building, and usually tickets are less price, like within 100. Whereas multiplex are on contrary, it has multiple screens of smaller sizes like 200 to 500 seating capacity, and it's usually in malls, and tickets here are a little pricey. If we see number of multiplex versus single screens, this yellow part here shows multiplex, and the white part shows the single screens. So in 2009, number of single screens were 9,710 and multiplexes were 995. In 2018, number of multiplexes are 2,950, which is almost 3,000, and single screens are 6,651. So as you can see, single screens are going down. There are many factors for this, so we'll be studying that as well. Single screens are not able to compete with the multiplexes, even though 31% of the market share is owned by multiplex. However, box office collection 55% comes from multiplex and only 45% comes from single screen. So that's why even the movies that are wanting to release, they are looking for multiplexes to be released at. Start looking at reasons for growth in multiplexes: strong demographics and raising disposable incomes. So this we'll see in detail in next slide. Superior location, destination, and parking facilities. Multiple screens in a multiplex will offer people a variety of choice. So after they finish one movie, if they want to watch another, they don't have to go from one place to another. They can just watch there itself. Now different screen sizes provide programming facility. Imagine a movie is released. What they do is on opening day, that movie will be played at a bigger screen where it has large seating capacity. As the movie progresses towards second and third week, they'll shift the movie and they'll screen it in a much smaller capacity room. By doing this, increasing their occupancy ratio. Occupancy ratio is how full the theater is. So number of people in the theater by total number of seats available at the theater. So by doing this, they're not wasting too much of empty seats. Next, state-of-art equipment, superior interior ambience and service. So growth in technology these days has contributed a lot to multiplexes as well, and we can see various 4D movies and IMAX and other theaters coming up in India. Now let's see at India's population demographics and how it's favoring multiplex film industry. If we look at past 30 years data, and if we look at number of families which are in lower class, lower middle class, and middle and affluent class. What do you mean by lower class? If a family income is below 90,000, it's called lower class. And if it's between 90,000 and 2 lakhs, it's called lower middle class. And above 2 lakhs, so middle and affluent class. As we can see, this was 1985 and this is 2015. So the number of families in lower middle class and middle affluent class has drastically increased. This means that the family's annual income has increased. Now they'll spend money on other recreational activities like watching movies. That's where it advantages multiplex industry. Let's look at discretionary and necessity spending. So what do you mean by discretionary? Imagine you're earning 50,000 and your savings, food, rent, everything is around 40,000. Then the remaining 10,000 money which you can spend is known as discretionary spending. And this money you can spend on your luxury items or to fulfill your needs. And this is where multiplex also comes in. So people, if they have more money only, then they'll come and watch movies. So according to the statistics, the necessity, which was 61% of the amount in 1995, has come down to 39%, and discretionary amount has increased to 61%. People have more money to spend, and that's why there is a lot of growth potential for multiplex film industry in India. Now let's see number of screens per million across the globe. What do we mean by this? It means that how many screens are there for 1 million population in a particular country. We compare that in USA it's 125 screens for 1 million population, then 95 in France, and then so on. And in India it's just 8 for 1 million population. So you can tell that since India is second highly populated, that's why even if there are large number of screens, it could be less. But as you can see, China has 37 number of screens for 1 million population, and it has more population than India. A lot of potential for growth in this sector, and more screens can be coming up in further days. For any company or any industry to grow or to sustain in a country, it needs good support by government, be it central government or state government. Let's see how good government is supporting the current film industry. This is our Prime Minister with all Bollywood stars. Never has this happened, I guess, that a Prime Minister is talking and interacting with all movie stars. So this shows how good support the government is providing to current film industry. And recently there was a Indian film museum that was inaugurated in Mount Bombay. Before GST was introduced, there was service tax, entertainment tax, VAT tax, and this various taxes used to be so complicated and rates were also high, so film industries were at loss. But then after GST was introduced, that is one country one tax, in July 2017 it was 28% for tickets above 100 rupees, and it was 18% for tickets below 100 rupees, and 18% on food and beverages. So July 17 was when the GST was just newly introduced, and GST rates were very high. Then during the process there was many amendments that were brought in, and finally as of now GST rates are 18% on tickets above 100, 12% on tickets below 100, and 5% on food and beverages. This is a major boon for multiplex industry, because the tickets are available at cheaper price for customers, and more people will go and watch movie. So far we saw Indian film industry on a global scale. Now let's see, has this growth in industry which I've said so far, has it really happened within the country over past few years? In 2011, the number of days taken to cross 100 crores is 7, 14, 11, 16, 50 respectively by Bodyguard, Ready, Ravan, Dawn to Single. Only these 5 movies crossed 100 crore box office collection in 2011. Now if we look at 2019, that is present here, we have around 10 movies that have crossed 100 crores, and if you see number of days taken by these movies to cross 100 crores, it's very less. So this shows that people are going out and watching more and more movies, and there has been a lot of support for multiplex industry. There is huge fan following for each of the stars. Now let's see box office collection in India. Within Indian cinema industry, there are various sectors, that is branches like Bollywood, Tollywood, Sandalwood. So all these movies together contribute towards box office collection. And if we see market share of this box office collection, it shows that the highest is by Bollywood, which accounts for 45% of box office collection, and then South Indian films, which accounts for 35%, and then 11% is by Hollywood, and then other languages is by 9%. But we have seen the growth in the industry, and it looks very promising, and there is a lot of growth that's going to be there in coming years. Now, if you see sources of income for these multiplexes, one is box office collection, that is the money which multiplexes make by selling tickets. Then they make money by selling food in their food court. So as you all know, in theaters in most of the states, you're not supposed to take food inside. So you're obligated to buy food which is available there, which are at higher prices. And if you have gone to any theater and seen a movie, then there will be advertisements that will be played just before starting of movie. So people pay like anything for movie. They had to be run in movie theaters because of large market available at these places. If you are booking tickets on Book My Show, it's usually higher than the amount which you will have to pay if you go and buy tickets offline. This fee known as convenience fee. Convenience fee is fee that you pay for a convenient booking of your ticket. Imagine if there was no Book My Show, you had to stand in line and then buy the tickets. But now it has become convenient, and that's why it's called convenient fee. Convenience fee, and this fee is also one of the sources for multiplexes. So now if we see how much revenue we get from each of these, booking box office collection 50%, and food and beverage almost 27%. So these two together contribute for 75%, and then advertising it's 9%, convenience fee 8%, and then others 6%. Now if we look at expenditure for the multiplexes, so previous slide we saw income, now let's see expenditure. Movie exhibition cost, that is whenever a multiplex has to play any particular movie, they have to acquire the rights to exhibit that movie, and this is known as movie exhibition cost. Next, rent and common area cost, that is the rent which you pay for mall, and the common area maintenance charges are also paid by multiplexes to mall. Then there are employees in each company, and you have to pay salary for them. And then the food and beverages that is being sold, to manufacture that you need raw material and the money that's spent on that as well. If we look at split of that, movie exhibition cost is 27%. Their rent, electricity, common area management cost is 43%, that costs highest. And then employee salaries and benefits is 9%. And then consumption of food, that is raw materials, is around 8%. Remember both of these slides. This we'll be using again in my next video where we do analysis of PVR and INOX. Let's see how this sector will perform post COVID-19. These are my opinions. Please put up your opinions on comment section and let's discuss further on that. Post COVID-19, I think people will think twice or thrice before going to watch any movie, because people have faced salary cuts and many people have lost their jobs, and their discretionary spendings, which I told about in earlier slide, it has come down drastically, and people don't want to spend money on luxurious items. Instead, they want to save for their safe future. So this industry will take some more time to recover, maybe a quarter or 2 quarters. Recently, two big movies, like the one which was starring Ayushmann Khurrana and Amitabh Bachchan, that was released on Netflix or Amazon Prime, I'm not sure. There's one more movie by Vidya Balan which was again released on one of these OTT platforms. So do you think this will be the trend that will continue even once the lockdown is lifted? No, because the money which these production houses make by selling on OTT platform is way less than the money which they make from box office collection. That's why they'll go back to the trend. But why these producers have released the movie already on OTT platform is because they had already done publicity for the movie, and the production cost which they had spent on, they had to recover that, and they didn't want to go in loss, and that's why they released on OTT platforms. So you might be thinking, if they had waited once the cinemas had opened, they could have released. No, there is psychological effect in this as well. So usually when promotions are going on, a movie should be released along with the promotion. Like if a promotion is going on today, then maybe like within 1 month or 2 months the movie should be released. If you do promotion 6 months before, and then if you release the movie after 6 months, that won't have the effect which it had earlier. This is one of the psychological effect, and that's why movies like the one which I told about before, they didn't want to go under loss, and that's why they release movies on OTT platform. But as you all know, watching movie in multiplex is a different experience than watching it on your phone or a laptop or a desktop. I don't think there will be any threat for this sector by OTT platforms. As I told, people won't spend money, but even if they want to, they don't want to come in contact with anyone. That's why I don't think there will be any offline ticket bookings in any of the multiplexes, and everything has to be done online. So Book My Show is one platform. By doing this, as I said, there was convenience fee which was involved, and this convenience fee will increase. This is an empty theater. Why I'm showing this is, even if they open lockdown and if they open theaters right away, that is from June 1st, for example, I don't think anyone will go and watch movie because everyone is scared of this COVID-19. But there was an interview with the PVR chairman, and he said that they are planning to open it in a staggered manner, wherein they'll allow only families or duets, couples to come and watch movies where they can sit together next to each other, and the seats adjacent to them, each seat will be left empty, and they'll follow standard hygiene measures and everything. So yeah, coming to hygiene measures, these cinema industry will have to spend more money now on cleanliness. They'll have to start installing metal detector doors instead of hand metal detectors. And then they'll have to sanitize the entire cinema hall after every movie. Those were my opinions on this sector post COVID-19. So in my next video, we'll be discussing on stock analysis of PVR and Inox. Please subscribe to my channel. You don't want to miss on this video as well. So thank you.